Hi there and welcome to Simple Stories Saturdays. This month I'm going to show you something slightly different. I'm going to start off by showing you a mini book I made a year or so ago, and I'm going to actually add to it today. When I first made it, I knew that it would be a mini book that grew over time, and that was exactly why I made it. In this mini book I'm documenting Italy and places in Italy that I've been and the years that I've been there. Obviously, it's got lots of different options. You could use it to document different counties, different states, different theme parks. It doesn't really matter, but I wanted it to be a mini book that grew over time. So it's made from Simple Stories Stay Travels, and I'll just give you a quick flick through so you get the idea of what I'm trying to do today when I add to it. So I've got an opening page, and straight away you can see this says 2007. On the first piece, it does say that this is a mini book highlighting the places we've visited so far. So this is Venice. So this was from a tag sheet, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So this is from Venice, Murano. So I've tried to label each one. So this is 2010. We went to the Vatican City in Rome. That was on a cruise. But these are things you always think you're going to remember and you never do. We also went to Genoa on the same trip. So this is just to a bit of a rest, just to use some of the embellishments up, because I have a sticker book and I had the chipboard at the time. So then this jumps forward to 2016. This is Sorrento, Amalfi, Positano, Ravello, all on the Amalfi coast. So when we were there, we also did Herculaneum and Pompeii, very famous sites. Trip over to Capri as well. And then there's a break. And here's another year tab. This says 2017. So we've got Florence here. Very famous site in Florence. And on the other side, we have Pisa. Now, this is literally one photo from a place. And that's what this book is about. It's more like documenting the places rather than a photo album. So I've got another rest there on that tag, and we're in 2019, and we have Verona here. We turn that tab over, Simone, and on the other side, two other places around Lake Garda, Bardolino, that we went to. 2020, during COVID, we managed to, when the restrictions were lifted, we managed to have a few days in Milan. So this is Milan, and this is Lake Como. And this is a place called Bellagio, which is on Lake Como. Got to get some pizza and an album. I think the sticker probably inspired me. So there are all the places we've been so far. So this is the sheet that I've used. And there's one sheet so far in this mini book. So I bought two at the time so that I could actually make this album grow. And I'm going to cut into this because I have two more trips to document. In 2021, we went back to Rome, but actually stayed there for a few days. So I'm going to use some different photos of different landmarks. And earlier this year, 2022, I went to Sicily, and I'd like to incorporate that also in my Italian mini book. So that is what I plan to do for my Simple Stories Saturday. Thank you. So to expand the mini book, I take the Simple Stories tag paper from Safe Travels and I cut it into the individual tags. The next thing I wanted to do was make the year markers to go between the tags. So using a bramble fox and a Sizzix die, I cut the tag and the number shapes, and I just glue those together. They're made from scraps from this paper range. I've just using some wet glue there just to make sure that they hold. Just adding some paper over the top where they're going to be attached to the ring, because I just want them to be quite sturdy so that when we look through them they don't get easily damaged. So I'm just coming in with one of my favourite hole punches just to punch the hole ready for it to go on the book ring. I know they're tiny, but they fit in quite nicely there. So they're ready. So that's 2021 and 2022 ready. So I've taken the last page out of the mini book and I'm using that first. These three photographs were all taken in 2021 in a trip to Rome. As you can see, a 5-day trip has been shrunk down to 3 photographs. Now, I'm not going to say it's easy, but when you start to look through them, you're just looking for some iconic images really, or iconic memories to be able to document a trip. The larger photo is 2.5 by 2 inches. The squares are 2-inch squares. And they're just ones that stood out to me. So I am going to actually write on there where they were taken. And I don't want anything to be too bold, so I'm going to use stickers and chipboard. That's probably the thickest thing I'm going to use to document this trip to Rome on these 2 tags. So this is all it's going to be for Rome, these 2 that you can see. I'm just going back and looking in the mini book itself just to remind myself how I've written the places before. I've been using some of the blue letter stickers that are in the Safe Travels sticker sheet, and I've added them to a journaling spot there, and I'm going to add the word Rome at the bottom of that photograph. I'm just going to make sure that what else I want to add. I've tried to add something to everything. It's a philosophy that I have with my project life, and I tend to do that with mini books as well. So it may only be a word or a phrase sticker, might be an enamel dot, it may not be much, but it's just something, just to keep it all tied in together. I love the fact that I'm using the same range throughout, and as you can see from the screen, I've still got quite a lot left from this originally. And this could be done with any of the Simple Stories travel ranges. As long as they've got that tag paper, that's all that you need to start. So I'm happy with the Rome pages, so I've come in with some more tags, and I'm going to add another one connected with a trip to Sicily in 2022. So I'm just going back, looking at the format that I've used before. The large photo that you see there is from Mount Etna, so that's a very iconic view of Sicily. So I'm going to add photos to both sides of the tag on the right. So just using this pale paper, I'm going to do a strip of pattern paper behind the photograph, which is something I'd done previously in the mini book, and I thought it was worth following the same sort of patterns. I think it gives a nice continuity. Also, sometimes it's easier just to literally scrap lift yourself. So if I'm literally copying a tag I did previously, it definitely makes the album flow a little better. So I'm just going to start to think about sticking things down on these extra 2 tags, just trimming that bit of paper so that it sits nicely. And I'm going to start by adding that photograph. I do want to add a bit of journaling above that one, just to talk about Sicily in a few sentences. So I'm going to leave that relatively plain, just add a couple of stickers if I can, once I've looked through it. The Mount Etna, I'm covering the Let's Go. It's a tag I used right at the very beginning of the book. I won't be using that as a title again necessarily, so I thought it would be easier just to cover that with a large photograph. And that's the back page there that I'm looking at. It's me hugging a cannoli in a side street in Sicily. Not an image you would necessarily expect to see, but it just made me laugh when I saw it on the side of a bakery, and I knew I had to have a photograph taken with it. So I'm looking at that as well. And I'm just going back through the book, just having a look for the inspiration that I need. So I'm just going to add some sunglasses to that back page. Even though it was taken in Sicily, it's got a feel of Italy about it. So I'm happy for that to be the back page for the moment, until I add other tags in, hopefully in the future. I'm just going to see if there's any word stickers that would go with that would just epitomise that image. But that's so, I can't look at that photo without making me laugh. And in the word sticker that I find, it says "Let's eat." So I think that's side done completely. I did enjoy that. So I'm just going back through, seeing if anything else that I can add. I love it when there's so much to arrange. The sticker books seem to be really good value, lots on offer. And I'm just trying to decide how I want things to look for the Mount Etna. Got a compass sticker that's going in one corner, and I just want to document that it is Mount Etna, so I'm going to add that to a tiny little journaling spot. So I'm going to just get those stuck into place. Literally, these pages were done in just a few minutes to add in. So I don't know why I've waited a couple of years to do, well, a year to do the 2021 one. I think maybe I was hoping we would get another trip. But it's something you could add to frequently or infrequently, really. It's it would be totally up to you. So I'm really liking the way that's going now. Just that one more that needs to be finished off. So I think I'm looking for maybe a word sticker or a phrase. I think I picked making memories. It's a picture of an amphitheatre that I'd used there. So I'm happy with these, and I'm going to add them in the right order with the dates in between, with 2021 and 2022. And that is the mini book as it is. And hopefully it will grow again in the future.